Everybody, and welcome to this week's episode of Top Four, where four guys, maybe five, talk about the top four things going on in whatever thing we're thinking about this week. And usually comic books, and this week we're talking about the top four appearances of presidents in comic books. But before we do that, how's everybody doing today?
I'm doing all right. How are you doing, Tommy?
Doing great, doing great. Everyone's looking good. So this could be Marvel, this could be DC. What is a presidential appearance in a comic book that you thought was awesome?
I'm going to go
Anybody?
straight in with somebody that nobody's going to pick, and that is President Stephen Blades from Letter 44, a comic book that's basically about a president.
All right. That comic
It
book
looks
is
a little bit like
exactly.
this.
Oh, you
Oh,
picked it up.
Oh,
Oh,
Yeah.
the omnibus.
uh-huh.
I've been told it's a great comic book, but I haven't gotten around to it yet. We don't really have time for a synapse because it's a shorter video. But what makes this such a good appearance for you?
Uh, it is a president who immediately on day one is faced with horrible challenges that he has to work through, and he does that calmly and swiftly, unlike some presidents that we've seen recently in today's world.
All right then. Uh, I'm going to go to mine because mine I think is one that everyone's seen, and I might have the name of the comic book wrong. So I think it's The Dark Knight Returns, where we see President Reagan unleashing Superman to kill Batman. Is that correct?
Yeah.
That's yeah. Reagan, when I was a kid, Reagan was my president. I saw Reagan all the time, and seeing him in a comic book form really did it for me. I was like, oh my God, this just kind of solidifies in my mind what the world would have been like if superheroes were in our world and Reagan had the power to point and shoot a god at a country.
Yeah,
And it
the
was terrifying.
the problem was that comic book was only purchased by the very wealthy, and we expected them to hand them down to other people. But that never happened. So not as many people read that comic
Yeah, there
as
was
we had
supposed to,
hoped.
the comic book was supposed to trickle down to all your friends.
You can just let a joke sit, LT.
Yeah, just let it ruminate. Our listeners are smarter than your than you
You're giving
just
up credit.
just give it no
My
credit,
brother.
man. It was fine.
All right, Mikey, who's your favorite presidential appearance in a comic book?
I'm going to go with Pettigrew.
Oh,
Uh,
terrific. Yeah, sure.
Pettigrew for President was in Treasure Chest comics by the Catholic Church, I believe, produced it.
Yeah, I
Uh,
actually have those. They're terrific.
it was in the 1960s, where it was about two people who were volunteering for this campaign, and you go the
It,
whole time without actually seeing Pettigrew until the end, and it turns out Pettigrew is going to be the first black president of the United States.
yeah, it really starts off as a kid detective comic, right? These two kids are working at the White House. Something's kind of going on behind the scenes. There's a little tiny mystery to solve, but they're working tirelessly for Pettigrew, who they think is going to be the best president ever. They finally get him elected, and we see him for the first time, and it's an African American president. It's really huge uh, for the Catholic Church to be putting this forward, to be showing such inclusivity, and it was a cute little comic, and I like the artwork. That's just me. Josh, who's your fave?
I've got Abraham Lincoln, the vampire hunter.
All right. I love the movie. I love the
Uh,
comic book. I'm a total mark.
it's it's all so ridiculous, but it's pretty fantastic. The only thing I don't like in the movie is the horse scene. I don't know why. Just guys, get some horses, put them in a place where they're all together, and let them run. You don't need to CGI horses. We have real horses.
Yeah,
Horse technology exists.
It exists. It's just an unnecessary addition. It looked terrible. Just get a horse and let it run. It's gotta be cheaper just to get horses. I'm sorry. It's gotta be.
to this day, Bruce Campbell is pissed off and won't watch Lord of the Rings because Lord of the Rings bought up all the horses in New Zealand while he was filming. What was that great Jack of all trades? And they only had 2 horses for everyone else in New Zealand because every other horse was bought up by Jackson. He won't watch it to this day. He might be changing his mind soon.
Yeah, that's
I
fair.
was getting shorter for Bruce to watch these films.
Wow.
Wow. Hey, I'm gonna give
Anyway.
one quick honorable mention because when Obama appeared in that Spider-Man comic book, that was huge because he was sitting president at the time, and it wasn't really that much of a parody. It was cool.
I mean, as an honorable mention, I'm gonna say Lex Luthor.
Oh,
He's a great plot device, right? His sort of machinations to become president, as it overlays things that he like. It's awesome that he becomes president. He doesn't care about being president. It's almost like he's just in it for the money and the power. And that sort of behavior, who knows? It's just
it's such
it's
a
ridiculous.
fantastical, made-up, crazy happenstance that a millionaire would just buy his way to the White House just to make more money. Like, who would do that? It's too much
Who would
work.
do that?
It's so it's so
so
super villainous.
unrealistic.
I'm gonna just stop you guys right there because Luthor turned over control of his businesses.
It's true. Right away.
Natasha Al Ghul.
It doesn't matter. He
Doesn't
he
matter.
turned
You
over.
guys-
He still turned it over.
If you guys want to hear more about President Luthor, go over to our podcast where we are doing an entire podcast on President Luthor. You can find it anywhere you get your podcasts.
Yeah,
I'll be
that's
finishing
right.
this pickle beer on that podcast.
Neat. Pickle beer. All right, that'll do it for our top 4, but I'm sure there are other presidential appearances in comic books that you want to talk about or see. I mean, Nixon appears in a comic book. Lyndon Baines Johnson appears in a comic book. I just found that out today. So let us know who you think the best president in a comic book was, and we'll talk about it here on our thing. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and please, for the love of God, mention our physical appearance. We can't get enough of it in the comments.
We can.
We can't. Love you guys. Bye-bye.